Holding the drumsticks. There's basically two ways of holding a pair of drumsticks. One is matched grip, where both sticks, I should say both stick grips match each other, hence the name match grip. The other way is traditional grip, where the left stick is a slightly different grip to the right stick for a I should say for a right-handed drummer, and for a left-handed drummer it would more than likely be the other way around. Now, it's up to the drummer which way they'd like to hold the drumsticks. First thing I'd like to say is that if I was invisible, the sticks would be basically in the same position. But I will explain why many drummers in the world use the traditional grip. Firstly, I taught myself to use the traditional grip. I'm a self-taught musician, and at first I was very impressed by jazz musicians, and most of my family using traditional grip, so I taught myself to do this. But later on I swapped to the match grip. It just seemed to work for me. But anyway, with the traditional grip, first of all, the way in which you're doing it, you're holding the stick about a third of the way from the base of the drumstick, on the webbing here on your hand, between the thumb and the index finger like this. Then the stick goes in between your ring finger and your middle finger, and it basically sits on that middle bone of your ring finger, and the other two fingers being your middle finger and index finger, it's basically the first crease on those fingers that goes on the stick. Little finger doesn't really do much, it sits there like that, and you've got a motion like this. Now, I found this difficult for me, that it hurt my back. That's why I changed to match grip, because everyone's body is different. But anyway, with this grip, something interesting happens with this grip. Before I get to that, I'll explain why the drummers who use this probably use it. The main reason would be they're probably taught that way by their teacher. Another reason is some drummers like to do it because they want to continue this tradition of holding the drumstick in this way, which came from playing a snare drum, marching on a snare drum in Europe many years ago. Some drummers do it because they think it looks cool. Well, I suppose that's okay if that's what you're into. But what I like is many drummers, people like Peter Erskine and Jojo Mayer and these wonderful drummers, they do it because less of your hand touches the drumstick, so the drumstick actually resonates at a higher pitch. So when you're hitting a drum, you can hear the difference. It's a little bit less resonant when you're holding it tight. So with a lot of people playing jazz and classical styles, they might like that really open sound, and they can lay back more on the beat with it. But in saying that, you can get the same effect by having a relaxed, what we call German grip. And so what I'll talk about mainly today is the two grips, one called the German grip and one called the French grip, because it's what I do best. Now, the German grip is certainly one of the most popular grips used amongst drummers throughout the world. The actual name for it is the German timpani grip, but most of us just call it the German grip. With the German grip, both hands are identical. We hold the stick just like the match grip, the traditional grip. We hold the stick about a third of the way up from the bottom. On these Vic Firth sticks is where the flag is. So you hold it there between your thumb and the first crease of your index finger. Have a bit of a space here between the thumb and index finger, and it's basically the fingerprints on your other three fingers that go on the stick, and you pull the stick diagonally across the hand to there, palm facing down. The left hand is exactly the same. And just learn first just to do this in the air, just to go up and down, keeping the stick against your palm. Now you want to also learn to do it so the fingers come out with the stick. And a good exercise to do this, to learn this, is just to hold one stick in your hand and pull the stick out and then bring it back in with your fingers and wrist. The reason we tend to use the fingers rather than just using your wrist is because, first, it's not very good for your tendons to be pushing back like that, and it just gives you a larger arc, this shape of the stick, which can put a lot more energy into the actual drum. Get a bigger sound more comfortably. Or playing quietly, because we don't just want to play loud all the time. Now, that's the German grip. It's a relaxed grip. You're not holding it tight. It's nice and relaxed. If you were to go into the second crease of the index finger, which would bring the stick close to your palm, that is a locked or a closed German grip. A lot of rock and roll drummers will use this because it's easier for them to hit hard and not drop the stick. It does tighten the sound of the drumstick up a bit, but when you're playing loud, you're not going to really hear that much of a difference with that. So you've got open German grip and lock German grip. Now there's a French timpani grip, which we call the French grip. Exactly the same idea, except your palms are facing each other, which enables you to use more fingers. And you can lock that up as well. You'll notice most of the time I will use the open German grip when I'm playing. I recommend learn one grip at first and stick to that grip. Don't be changing different techniques because you'll just confuse yourself. So anyway, so remember your stick grip is relaxed and your fingers want to stay on your stick at all time, including your little finger, because the small finger is attached to the largest muscle in your hand. So don't underestimate the importance of that little finger. So that's basically how I hold my drumsticks. And now that we know what the names of the drums are and we know how to hold our drumsticks, let's learn to play some basic rock beats. Thank you.